Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salam ala Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam wa ba'd. Then inshallah, turn this microphone on. So, alhamdulillah, we continue with our study of let's learn the meanings of the Qur'an. And we finished Suratun Fatiha. And so now, inshallah ta'ala, we will begin with Suratun Naas. Because now we're going to go back to the end. We'll go through Juz Amma, inshallah ta'ala. If Allah gives us permission, we'll finish Juz Amma in a very short period of time, bi'idhnillah. And the goal again is for us to learn the meanings, right? To learn the meanings so that when we're praying, we can have a connection with the salah. And when we're remembering Allah, then we'll remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when we remember His ayat, the ayat of the Qur'an. And before we go further, a nice benefit, I always like to bring some kind of other benefit about the Qur'an, things like this, okay? Inshallah, if you're going to make a big point to memorize the Qur'an, you're going to need to have a mushaf, okay? The mushaf will be your mushaf, okay? And the mushaf, it helps discipline you as well. Because there are certain things that you will do that you are not going to do when you touch a mushaf, right? Certain things you won't say. You have a mushaf in your hand. Certain places you will not go with a mushaf. It will make you think like, oh, maybe I shouldn't go here. This is a place I don't even want to bring my mushaf into, right? Or be around people, for example, okay? But when you have your mushaf, there's different types of prints of the mushaf. And so this print is the one that I use, okay? And you have to be very careful that when you pick the mushaf that you're going to use to memorize from, you stick to that mushaf, okay? Because you'll get confused. Because the ayat are arranged differently. And an example for you guys is if you go to Suratun, look at Suratun, maybe Adiyat is going to have it like this. Look at Suratun Adiyat, right? On page 599. On your page there, how many lines of Suratun Adiyat are on that mushaf? How many lines for that page? How many lines? 4. I think everybody else will have 4, right?
4 now.
Okay, on my mushaf is 2. It's 2. There's 5 lines in that mushaf, see?
Mine is 5.
5.
Oh, mine is 5.
Oh, 5, okay, 5, okay. Mine is 2, and then on the other page, after that, I have 3. So you guys have all of Adiyat on 1 page, right? And then Suratun,
I have it in 2 pages.
you have it in 2 pages?
Yes.
The last line is
The last line
on
of
the
the
page.
Yeah.
Ah,
On the next page. Now.
no. So even, can I see real quick?
Yeah.
Yes. Are you adding the Bismillah as a line?
No.
Yeah, no, the Bismillah is not in ayah here. Like
No. 1, 2, 3. Oh, you have 4, but with the Bismillah, you're saying 5 lines.
No,
this one here.
Oh, you're saying 1 line over here.
No.
Yeah, we have 5, okay? We all have 5. But you have 4 on 1 page and 1 on 1 page. I have 2 on 1 page, and then I have 3 on the other page.
Yours is different.
For different,
Yeah.
right?
It's smaller than ours. Yeah.
Yes.
Yours is much smaller.
Even though there's the bigger print one, and I'll try to bring a different one of mine. The print is all the same, okay? Like this type of print is the newer Saudi print. This is the older Saudi print that you guys have. So just be aware of that, okay? Because, if you're going to be stubborn like me, this is the first mushaf that I received, this type of mushaf, not this actual one. So I love this mushaf. So for me, I said I want to memorize Quran from this mushaf when I got it years ago. So then I said, okay, I'm going to keep this mushaf, and my heart just is inclined towards this mushaf, alhamdulillah. My big mushaf, I have big mushaf for nighttime when I read, to make my eyes easier. That one has the same print. I have a small pocket one, sometimes you see me with. That one has the same print. All my musahif that I use, they all have the same print, but when I study with my daughter, I use the print she has, which can be confusing. But it's good because I can see where she's at, and then I can talk to her about where she's at. You know what I mean? So, but just be aware that if you're going to use a mushaf, to use the same mushaf and pick a mushaf. Like homework, especially for you guys. You have mushaf at home, it's yours, right? Take it, okay? And bring it here to the masjid, and make sure that whenever you're going to approach the Quran, use that one, inshallah ta'ala, okay? The other thing is, in general, can you use the Quran to read in Taraweeh, right? Yes, you can. This is a short answer. For Taraweeh, you can. Now, can I lead Fajr with the Quran in my hand? No, okay? But I can lead with the voluntary prayers, okay? I can pray that way, right? So that's another good benefit too, is this helps us with our review. Sometimes when you have memorized a lot, you're now, you're in the ocean, and your review is so important, and you need to review every day, right? And what portion should you review? It depends on, probably no less than 5 pages a day, review, okay? That's when you have up to 5 juz. After 5 juz, maybe you need to do half a juz per day, review. And if you practice from now, sounds like a lot, but if you practice from now, that review will be because it's 12 pages, right? 11, 12 pages will take you only maybe 15 minutes, 20 minutes, because you've been reviewing so many times continuously, right? And then you'll finish a juz then every other day. Once you get to have more of the Quran, then it's the correct view, the very famous view, that you should not let 40 days go by except that you review the entire Quran. Okay, for the Hufat. Every 40 days you have to review the entire Quran. All right, it's blameworthy for you to take too much time reviewing Quran, and this opposes the way of the Salaf. So, inshallah ta'ala, we can now move on to Suratun Naas, bi'idhnillah. When you make the Quran a part of your life like that, you'll hear the Quran in your thoughts. You will be reminded. You remind yourself so many times of the ayat, and when you begin to speak, you will speak with the style and the language of the Quran, and this is the best speech. So Suratun Naas is the last chapter of the Quran, right? And should we say that this is a small surah, or should we say that this is a short surah? Short, right? Small is like talking down on the Quran, right? It's not small, it's short, right? Is there anything wrong with you reading this in every time you pray? Small surah like this? It is not, okay? You can read, right? Every time you pray. So, we'll go over this small surah, inshallah ta'ala, these 6 ayat, and we will go over the basic meanings, okay? How was your week with the Quran, with Surah Al-Fatiha? Was you guys taking your time with Surah Al-Fatiha and reading it with khushu'? Focus on the meanings, When you say, Iyaka na'budu wa Iyaka nasta'in, wallahi, this is the big statement, okay? Huge. So when we're reading, it will help us to connect, and that's good practice for us, right? So now, inshallah ta'ala, maybe perhaps in this week, you will increase in the times that you read from Suratun Naas. So that will help stick with you, okay? Just like Surah Al-Fatiha. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. He says, Qul a'udhu bi rabbin nas. Let's read together. Qul a'udhu bi rabbin nas. So the word qul is a command to say it. Qul a'udhu. And we know isti'adha is to seek Allah, right? We seek Allah in every matter. Bi rabbin nas. Bi rabbin nas. And we have a shadda on the ba. So we shouldn't say rabbin nas. We should say rabbin nas. Rabbin nas. Rabbi. Right? Bi rabbin nas. And we learned last week that Rabbi, Rabb means the Lord. And that Lord is the way it's translated as a word, but what it means for us is that Allah created everything, He provided for everything, and He manages the affairs of everything. Okay? Qul a'udhu bi rabbin nas. Nas, of mankind, of people. Okay? Nas. And here again we see that we have the alif and lam followed by a noon, which is from the huruf al-shamsiyah. So we should skip over the alif and the lam, okay? So we don't say Rabbil Nas or Rabbil Nas. It's a whole bunch of mistakes there. Because we skipped over the shadda and the ba, and then we were going to skip over, we're going to add the alif and the lam, and that's wrong. We should say Bi Rabbin Nas, right? On the noon is always going to have some gunna on it, okay? We shouldn't go Rabbin Nas. It should be some gunna. We should have the air exit from where? When we do gunna, where does it exit from? The nose. Gunna. Okay? So what we should do to practice it is you go like this. You see? Rabbin. That's the sound. Rabbin. The sound won't come out. Rabbin. Okay? This is where the sound has to exit out on the noon. We're not going to go Rabbin. This is wrong. I'm letting air out of here. This needs to be closed, and the air is going to come out of the nose. Okay? Rabbin Nas. Okay? So, Qul a'udhu bi Rabbin Nas. That Allah said, we seek refuge with Allah from, with Allah, the Lord of mankind. Okay? That He is the Lord of mankind. Okay? Qul a'udhu bi Rabbin Nas. We seek refuge with the Lord of mankind. Malikin Nas is the next ayah. Let's say Malik. Malikin Nas. And see here, now it's Malik, right? We learned Maliki Yawmiddin, and I asked you, could it be Malik and Malik? Right? It can be. He's both. Here we have a proof, right? Maliki Yawmiddin, or Malikin Nas. So He is Maliki Yawmiddin and He is Maliki Yawmiddin. Malik, yani the owner. Malikin Nas, again, there's that noon. We have to make sure that we have the air exit from the right place and we close off all the other exits, or else we will mess up the letter itself, right? Malikin Nas, from the owner, yani the owner of all of mankind. So He is the Lord of all of mankind, which we now are affirming His rububiyyah, that He is the Lord, literally Rabb, rububiyyah. Now,
Just to clarify, Sheikh, because maybe the word Rabb makes some confusion maybe for some people, because back in the days, like they used to call
Rabbul Bayt.
Rabbul Bayt.
Yeah.
So people maybe sometimes read the Surah Yusuf,
Now,
and they get confused with that. So
yes,
you can clarify.
for sure. Allah is Ar-Rabb. Ar-Rabb. You cannot call anybody else Ar-Rabb. Okay? But your father, he is Rabbul Baytik. He is the Lord of your house. Okay? Not the Lord in the sense of shirk. No, la. Your father, he manages the affairs of the home, and he is the one who will be questioned about the home. Okay? So linguistically, you can say he is Rabbul Bayt, your house, okay? Not Rabbul Hadal Bayt, yani Rabbul Kaaba. No, this is Allah. He is Ar-Rabb, right? So Ar-Rabbu is from the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ar-Rabb, he's Ar-Rabb, okay? So some people will get confused by that. Jazakallah khair. Linguistically, it's permissible to use the word Rabb outside of talking about Allah. It's permissible. But when you intend Ar-Rabb, this is not permissible to use for anyone except for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. No one has the right for that, okay? Rabbil Alameen, right? Malikin Naas, he is the owner of mankind. Again, we are now, this is from, yani, he is the owner of mankind. He has mulk, he has ownership. This is also part of his rububiyyah. Yani, this is from the actions of Allah, right? Ilahin Nas, let's say Ilahin Nas. Ilah, again, when we say Ilah, remember, El-Ilah, Allah. El-Ilah, Allah. El-Ilah is the foundation of the word Allah. Okay, but because of the constant mentioning, the Arabs, what they did is they, yani, in the language itself, is they shortened it, okay? And they have joined in the alif and the lam, and then they put the shadda on the other lam, Allah, okay? And they took off of the hamza, that's there. You see the hamza? That's there. Ilahin Nas, it's not ilah. Ilah, okay? So, Ilah is now for his uluhiyyah, that he is the one who has the right to be worshipped and served. He is the yani ma'bud, the one who receives the worship, okay? He is the one who is worshipped over all of mankind, okay? He is the one who receives all the worship of mankind. He is their Lord, he is the owner, and he is the one who receives all of the worship, right? You see how now we're building this tawheed, right? Look at the ayah. Because Allah is the Lord, because he is the owner, he is the one who has the right to be worshipped, and we affirm it, right? And we're doing this before we do what? We're seeking refuge with Allah. And this teaches us, Allah is teaching us, when we call on Allah, it's good to call on Allah by his names and his attributes, especially if you would like to have mercy, for example, right? Ya Rahman Rahimin, Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim, Arhamni, right? Oh, you who is the giver of mercy, have mercy on me. This is a beautiful way to call on Allah for that, right? If you would like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to provide for you, we should say what? Ar-Razak, Razukni, right? You're the one who provides. Provide for me. It's a beautiful way to call on Allah. Allah loves that, okay? So this ayahs, these first three, yani, they're building us up so much. We're seeking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in a matter, and now we're going to find this matter that this is only Allah can protect us from this. Then the next ayah, min sharril waswasil khannas. So min sharril waswasil khannas. Okay? What is between the noon and the sheen? Do you guys know? What's between the noon and the sheen? There's a ruling there. When you have the noon that has a sukoon, min, then shar. Was that?
It has a sound of noon between it.
We have someone who has their hands up. Yes. Noon sakina. And what? So what's the ruling when you have a sheen with that noon sakina? Ahsanti. What's the name of the ruling? Is it idgham? Is it iqlab? Is it ikhfa? Is it idhar? Do you know? It's called ikhfa. So it's like, yani, you're not making ghanna, and so you're letting some air come here now. So it's Mi. So there's air here. Mi is between a ghunna and and letting the air out. Okay? But you are now going to stop it and you're going to say the word, the letter that comes out. Mi sharril. So your tongue should be ready to get the sheen out. Mi sharril. We're not going to go mi sharril. That's too hard. Some people would make it so difficult. Wherever that sheen, like sheen comes from where? Shh, right? Say shh, shh. You see where that sound comes? You're going to make that ikhfa when you make that ghanna sound, when you make that sound with the air coming out with it, you're going to do it close to the sheen so that the sheen comes out right. Okay? This is a very important rule when it comes to the ikhfa. Okay? Mi shar. Right? So now here we have a shadda over the ra. Mi sharril waswasil khannas. So min sharril, from the evil, shar, right, is evil, shar. We're seeking refuge with Allah from the evil of what? Al-waswas. What's al-waswas? Yes, is the doubt of shaitan, the whispering of shaitan that is inclining to you to do something, or he's giving you doubt, right? Yani, this morning we were praying, and one brother, he missed an entire ayah. He noticed. He was confused. He's like, did I not miss? He's like, waswas. Then behind, I'm like, did he miss? Waswas. Yes. And then all the brothers in line. And so after he finished, immediately he said, did I miss a line? We all said, yes, you did. You know, and he's like, I was waiting for you to say something. And I'm thinking, I'm waiting for someone else, because I thought, it was a very, clear. He missed the whole ayah, right? May Allah bless him. And this waswas attacked us in the salah. That's why we seek refuge with Allah from shaitan before we pray. Subhanallah. Min sharril waswasil khannas, right? So this waswas is something that happens, as Allah is going to say, fi sudur nas, we'll find. Okay? He says waswasil khannas, al-khannas. What's al-khannas? He whispers, and then does he hang around and wait and he's with you the whole time that you're going to get the punishment from Allah? No. He comes to you, he tricks you, and what does he do? He's out. Shaitan is tricky like that. You know that shaitan worshiped Allah? Did you know that? He made dua to Allah. Even after he refused to obey Allah, he made dua to Allah. Okay? He asked Allah for respite. Okay? He knows who is Allah better than you know who is Allah. He has knowledge of things that we do not have knowledge of. Knowledge that he saw with his own eyes. Things he heard and seen that no one else has seen. None of us have seen. He still disobeyed Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this goes to show you that just knowing shaitan, or just knowing Allah, it doesn't mean that you have iman in Allah. Okay? Don't let somebody trick you, that when someone tries to tell you to do something that you know is haram, you say, okay, this is haram. And they say, come on, man, you're not going to go, you believe in Allah, like this and like that, and Allah's going to forgive you for everything, and, like this and that. They do like that. This is not correct, right? Tell them shaitan knew Allah. Look at his condition. And we seek refuge with Allah from him every single time we can, right? A'udhu billah, right? Min sharril waswasil khannas. Then alladhi yuwaswisu fi sudurin nas, right? So let's say alladhi. Very important for us that when we say alladhi, that we have to give that med tabi'i to that yeah, right? We can't say alladhi yuwaswisu. There's a lot of people who do that. I do this so often, as a matter of fact. That med tabi'i, it's so tabi'i, it's just normal, average, everyday med. I skip over that med so many times because my tongue was not trained to recognize the med for a long time. So that med is very important from every day. I practice with actually med, tabi'i, every single day. Alladhi, right? It's not alladhi. Alladhi is wrong. Alladhi, right? Alladhi. There is a shadda on the lam. Alladhi yuwaswisu. Let's say alladhi yuwaswisu. Okay. Alladhi, the one who yuwaswisu. Okay. Yuwaswisu. He's the one who whispers. Fi, say fi. Again, there's another med there, isn't there? Med tabi'i. Okay, you gotta give it its haqq. If you don't mention that harf, you are changing the meaning of Qur'an. This is something you can't do. Fi sudurin nas. Fi is in. Sudur. It's not sudur. Sudur. Right? And there's another med there on that waw, isn't there? Because there's a sukoon on the waw. Is there any harakah on that waw? No. And there's a doma before it, right? So we have to say fi sudurin sudur. We don't say fi sudur. Okay? Fi sudurin nas. And a nas, it has a shadda on the noon. Again, that's that gunna has to come. It's a harf of gunna, right? Mushaddid. So we have to say we have to be very careful. Fi sudurin nas, that he whispers in the chest of mankind. Okay? We talked about this before. Some people think shaitan is going to be standing out here making loud noises, yelling at you so you can distinguish that this is shaitan. Is that the way that it goes? Have you ever heard a voice in your life? Have you ever heard a voice in your head that was not a real person ever there? Like a loud noise, like you heard it, like you hear my voice. I don't think so. No. He's like, be careful. No, I know what you mean. You hear a voice, but it's not like you hear a voice. I'm saying you literally hear the voice like my voice is right now. And it'll be a different voice, right? Some people who have like paranoid schizophrenia, they will hear things like that, right? This really happens to some people. We ask Allah to make it easy for them. But this is not the kind of whispering that shaitan does. It is fi dakhil. You are being inclined, and it's an inclination for you to do something, right? You know Allah exists. You know Allah is going to hold you accountable. Has there ever been a day that you think that you did not know that Allah existed? Since the day that you could remember? I don't think there has been, right? But we all commit sins, don't we? Yeah, we all do. So how? We're aware of Allah. We know that we're going to return to Allah. We love Allah and we want to obey Allah. Now, how is it that we're going to get, why? How will we get tricked out of that thing, right? And some sins are so big. Big sins. And some people, they find themselves in the sin, they say, how did I do this? How did I even get here? They start repenting to Allah. Oh, Allah, forgive me. Oh, Allah, forgive me. Oh, Allah, forgive me. I do not even know. Like, they're angry. They don't know how. How did they do that? Somebody kills somebody. It takes how fast to kill someone? Instantaneous. Instant. Before you can blink, the person is dead. Okay? Sometimes. When that is happening, the person, wasn't even thinking. He pulled the trigger, he shot the guy. He killed the person, and now he starts to think, what? What have I done? How did I become a murderer?
I didn't came to do it.
I didn't. Yeah, I didn't even want to hurt him.
Yeah.
How many times have you heard people say like this? Shaitan got him good. And you can see they're remorseful from the moment it happens. They don't even run from the police. They might even call the police. I committed a crime. You need to come and arrest me. I'm a murderer. I'm not going to even fight you about it. I'm guilty. How is somebody in one moment? It's because they're being heedless about something, right? Whenever you are very what? Happy, you should do what? Seek refuge with Allah. You could commit a major sin while you're very happy with Allah. Do you know that? You could be so happy. Yani, there was the man who, he had a camel. He was out in the desert. He ended up losing his camel. He couldn't find his camel. And this is like certain death. Okay? He just says, let me just go and rest under this tree until, Allah takes my soul. I'm just going to die out here. That's it. He goes and he rests. He's laying down. He's laying there. Then he wakes up. He looks up. There's a camel. His camel is right there. He is so happy at that time. He says to Allah, I am your Lord and you are my slave. Right? So this shows you have to be so careful when you're very happy to seek refuge with Allah. Also, when you're very angry, you should do what? Seek refuge with Allah. What else is a good thing to do when you're very angry? Wudu. I'm going to bring you a gift, inshallah. Next Sunday, I have a gift for you, akhi. This is very good. If only you can apply this in your life, especially at home, you will save yourself from so many issues. Yani maybe one day you will get married to a beautiful, believing wife. May Allah give you a beautiful, believing wife. Maybe one day she's going to make you upset. And make wudu. Seek refuge with Allah. Go make wudu. You come back. I don't know what I was thinking. I was, wallahi, it's something that is easier said than done. Right? But it's good. Make wudu. Even at school. Somebody does something, man, go make wudu. Honestly. Teacher, I need to go take a bathroom break. Go and make wudu. Okay? Make wudu. Put that fire out. Okay? And when you're very sad, this is another time too. When you're very sad, seek Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Some people, they take their own life. And sometimes they're not successful, but they try to do it. And when you go to them, and I've seen this when I work in emergency medicine, you talk to that person after they've attempted to kill themselves. Okay? It's a very serious thing. And you ask them, do you want to live? Do you know what they say? 9 times out of 10, do you know what they say? Yes. So he wants to live. Why did he do this? Why did she do this? Shaitan, yani. You're so sad. So in these 3 times, you're very happy, you're very angry, very sad, seek refuge with Allah. Okay? Then the last ayah, min al-jinnati wan-nas. Subhanallah. We're seeking refuge with Allah from the shaitan that flees, the fleeing coward, shaitan, who whispers and inclines for you to commit sins and to be forgetful, of Allah, and to be confused. He loves to even watch you be confused. Because he said, look, I told you I'm better than him. I'm better than the son of Adam. I'm better. Look, he forgot. How you forget, right? Min al-jinnati wan-nas, from the jinn. Okay, you're seeking refuge with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from the jinn of these ones who do this. Not just the jinn. Also from mankind. Mankind. People who are so overcome by shayateen that they do the work of shaitan. They're like walking devils. Okay? Humans that are trying to deviate you from the path of Allah. Some of them, like we said, some people, they call themselves Satanists today. It's a religion. They worship shaitan. A'udhu billah. This is the level of people. So, when you deal with people, this is about you having good companions and good partners, right? Because when you have friends, even if they say, I'm a Muslim, they don't pray. Have you heard of a Muslim who doesn't pray? You see? Really, a Muslim, a believer who does not pray. It's a contradiction. They don't exist together. Maybe someone's not praying because they're ignorant for some time. Maybe they've been lazy even. They can have maybe that excuse for some time. But Umar, radiallahu anhu, he said that if a person misses one salah intentionally, he's left the religion of Islam. One prayer. Okay? One prayer. If you missed, take shahada. There's nothing wrong with saying ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammad Rasulullah. I say it anytime, anyway. But say it with iman. And then ask Allah to forgive you. Say, Allah, please forgive me. Okay? Teach me. Allah, give me beneficial knowledge. You know? Allah, guide me. Okay? Repent. Right? Repent to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And stay away from, you cannot see the jinn right now, right? If a jinn's right here, you're not going to know that there's a jinn right here, right? But what about a bad company? Will you know if there's bad company? Yes, right? You'll know that, okay? So always make sure that you have good friends and good people around you. Stay away from people who do not remind you of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because the shaitan does not like when you remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He doesn't want to be close, right? And this is a good benefit for that. So inshallah, let's take this week and we will read this in our salah. We'll read it in our voluntary prayers, and we will familiarize ourselves with this surah, okay? And with Suratul Fatiha, and now we've completed 2 surahs that we have. Inshallah, next week we will do Qul A'udhu bi Rabbil Falaq. This is a very, very important surah. All of these surahs are very important. And there's so many benefits there as well for us that will help guide us through some of the things that we encounter that we don't understand. Okay? Anything that I said that is correct is from Allah and His Messenger, and anything that I said that is not correct is from myself or shaitan, and Allah and His Messenger are free from it. Subhanaka Allahumma bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu alayk. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. بارك الله فيكم.